Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Viking Size Gamer, and today we have a new video. We have had one hell of a week because of WrestleMania, and that's including Raw that we had last night, and things are still going to change with SmackDown as well, but I am bringing you a new video tonight. Tonight we're going to see how things have changed in WWE 2K19 because of WrestleMania week, including Raw last night. There have been a lot of things that have changed along the way. Little things that you may not have noticed, little things that you will have noticed, big things that you definitely will have noticed. So let's go through some of those things and how they have changed everything. So here's the top 10 at the moment. We're going to start off with the Women's Battle Royal. And the reason this is in the top 10 is because although you can already do this in WWE 2K18, it more than solidifies the fact that WWE 2K19 will feature a Women's Royal Rumble mode. With all the emphasis on the women's division at the moment, it seems more than likely that this will push it over the edge, and they'll include a Women's Royal Rumble in WWE 2K19. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this and implement it in WWE 2K19. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be wanting to do this. Obviously, I was one of those people that wanted to have a Women's Royal Rumble. Well, now we can. It's pretty obvious that it's definitely going to be in this year. It's not a hard thing to do. It was just something that wasn't added to the female roster last year. Now it's definitely going to be in, and WWE 2K19 can credit not only the Royal Rumble but also the Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania. So I am super excited that this is going to be included in WWE 2K19. You can 99.999% guarantee that this match is going to be in the game this year. The next thing we'll look at is the stables mechanic, because let's face it, they're going to have updated stables this year. If you were living in a hole, then you did not see NXT TakeOver New Orleans and you missed out on a fantastic show. So not only this year are we going to be graced by the presence of the Undisputed Era, but they will also have a new member in WWE 2K19. Of course, we would have expected the normal three of Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish and Adam Cole, but this year they will also be joined by Roderick Strong, making them a four-man stable, which hasn't been done in a little while. Let's be honest with you, all the stables that we've had recently have been three-man stables, which obviously leaves one centered member plus two tag teams, which just basically makes sense. Obviously, from a standpoint, it technically means there's a leader, a tag team, and they basically can kill both the divisions, which is a great idea. But at this point, Bobby Fish is injured, which left a spot open for somebody to take over that tag team area with Kyle O'Reilly. Roderick Strong was the logical choice, and thankfully he is now in Undisputed Era, turning on Pete Dunne at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, which is kind of weird because Pete Dunne had the match won, so he could have just walked away with the title. Instead, he decided to join Undisputed Era and keep the titles anyway. So, well, it worked out for the best, but this just means that now in this stable that they are together. So this is the first four-man team that we've had in a little while, and I am really looking forward to seeing how that pans out. Also, we may get the teams of Finn Balor with the Club, because they have been hanging around a lot with each other at the moment. You will also get the Miz Taraj together as well as a stable, so that's another three-man team there too. So there's going to be quite a few different stables that are going to be new to WWE 2K19 after WrestleMania, and this can only get better, so I'm really looking forward to see how they implement this next. Next up is the ratings, because obviously these are going to be updated because of WrestleMania. More than likely we're going to see a few changes in here, and the main change that you may notice is the fact that Roman Reigns more than likely will not be the top superstar in WWE 2K19. In WWE 2K18 he was the highest rated superstar. He'd taken on multiple opponents, but in WWE 2K19 I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Lesnar was the top rated superstar, considering he has toppled the Golden Boy and is still wearing that Universal Championship. The other significant change on here is in WWE 2K18 Asuka was the highest rated female on the roster. So this is going to be changed now because Charlotte has defeated her and ended the streak at WrestleMania. This technically should mean that the Queen should be the highest rated female superstar in the women's division. The case is also that Ronda Rousey is going to be joining the roster this year, so she's actually taken on Triple H and got him in a corner and beaten him down at WrestleMania, while also taking out Stephanie as well. She is a danger and a force to be reckoned with, but she is an unquantified point, and we can't tell what her rating is going to be. My guess is that it's going to be a toss-up between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte for who's going to have the better ratings this year, but definitely Asuka is not at the top anymore, so those ratings are going to change completely. So I'd really like to see who's going to be the top male superstar and who's going to be the top female superstar out of Charlotte and Ronda. This is going to be really interesting, guys. The other thing that we got to move on to now is the fact that this year WrestleMania we had mixed tag matches, and that was obviously involving Ronda again versus Triple H and Stephanie with Kurt Angle at her side. This was obviously a mixed tag match that actually involved male on female fighting as well. This is obviously a big thing. It seems that WWE have kind of moved on from this stalemate of not having female wrestlers being able to fight male wrestlers. Maybe that's the case, maybe Ronda is just the exception, much like China was back in the Attitude Era. This is obviously a fantastic opportunity for them to add this into the game, because they've already had the mixed tag challenge as well throughout the year as well. This is obviously a great idea to have this in, so I am really looking forward to see how they implement this. More than likely, we'll hopefully be able to get a mixed tag challenge. I'm not saying they're going to have full intergender matches, which, you know, is a possibility. Maybe we can have female on male or male on female. Either way, it doesn't matter. But the thing is that I more likely see it's going to be intergender tag matches, a mixed tag team match. That match will probably be the only thing that will happen in there. I don't see it being a singles thing, but that's just the way it's going to be, unfortunately. That's just what I think anyway, but the great news is that this will make it into WWE 2K19 more than likely. Speaking of new match types, it seems to me like there's going to be another different type of match which should have been in the game for a little while now, and that will be the Triple Threat Tag Team match. Now, obviously, at WrestleMania, we had the Usos versus the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers in a Triple Threat Tag Team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Now, this obviously makes sense to put this back in the game. We have had amazing triple threat tag team matches before, including Edge and Christian versus the Dudleys versus the Hardys. That match was a trendsetter for triple threat tag team matches, and their series was absolutely fantastic. So to carry that on at WrestleMania with the Usos, the Bludgeon Brothers and the New Day just absolutely makes sense. And I really can't wait to get into the game and try this, along with the mixed tag challenges as well that they've had throughout the year. That's another match type that they're going to have to add to this. Plus, obviously, with the announcement that they've had a little while ago that they're going to have the greatest Royal Rumble, a 50-man Royal Rumble, I can see no reason why they don't allow us to up the match count of the people that are participating in a Royal Rumble this year. That'll just be another thing that they get to add in. So with all the announcements as well, I can see this coming and making a little bit more of an impact. So hopefully we'll get some more new match types this year. This is changing how WWE 2K19 is going to be, and I'm getting excited as I'm going through these because it just sounds better and better the more I go through it. Obviously, next we have how the roster will have changed for WWE 2K19, because let's face it, this is massive. Obviously, coming up, we have the Superstar Shakeup. That is next week, but this week alone, even on Raw, we have had major call-ups. It looks to me like Ember Moon has joined the Raw roster, along with No Way Jose and AOP, who seem to have moved away from their manager Paul Ellering now, obviously establishing themselves as a unit by themselves that don't need this manager, which for me is kind of a strange thing because these two guys cannot speak on the mic. Maybe that's what they're going for and they just want their presence to be dominant and mysterious, but for me, Paul Ellering was exactly the mouthpiece that they needed. But obviously, that is not the only thing that's going to be changing on the roster. There will be more people coming in tonight on SmackDown, more than likely, and with the Superstar Shakeup, we could see even more differences. So I'd be very interested to see what the Superstar Shakeup is going to do to the roster this year as well, because let's face it, It's always good when we get a superstar shakeup. It's always nice to see who's going to be on different brands this year and how that's going to affect WWE 2K19. And speaking of that, how about some debuts for WWE 2K19? More than likely, we're going to see some new guys in WWE 2K19. We're going to see some new superstars. It seems like ultimately we are going to get Kairi Sane because she is next in line for the NXT Women's Championship. And 100% this year we are going to get a debut of Shayna Baszler in WWE 2K19 because she is your current reigning and defending NXT Women's Champion, and that is extremely well deserved because her fight with Ember Moon was absolutely fantastic. We'll also get some major debuts including the Velveteen Dream, and we'll also get Adam Cole, baby, and we will get EC3 as well. Those guys, more than likely, because they have been debuted on the roster and actually participated, we may not see them as DLC, we may see them actually on the main roster. The only person who may possibly come as DLC as a Future Stars pack will be EC3 out of that lot, so I'd be interested to see how that happens. But because Shayna is now the NXT Women's Champion, I would fully expect her to come on disc in the roster as default and not be DLC. Speaking of DLC, obviously it seems like some of this will have changed as well, because now we have the debut, or shall I say re-debut, of Bobby Lashley. He didn't appear at WrestleMania itself, he has re-debuted on Raw, beating, well, he didn't really beat up Elias, he kind of just threw him around a little bit and just left him in the air for quite a long time with that stalling suplex, which is obviously a massive display of power because let's face it, Elias is not a small man by any means, but he is obviously quite a stocky one. So obviously it was really good to see Bobby Lashley back in the WWE. That was leaked a little bit earlier because somebody left their monitor on by the ring, so silly bit on their part, but this is obviously great news for us. The DLC more than likely will include Bobby Lashley this year. Possibly we may even see him as the pre-order. Now this is obviously something that a lot of people have come to me with, saying to me, Ronda Rousey couldn't be the pre-order, she's already debuted. Isn't the pre-order usually for returning legends? That means Rey Mysterio could still possibly be it, but then again, he didn't appear at WrestleMania, did he? Neither did Bobby Lashley, but he did re-debut on Raw, so there is a full-on possibility that we could have Bobby Lashley as the only returning legend being the pre-order bonus this year. Now obviously everybody has their own opinions of Bobby Lashley. He was only in the WWE for a couple of years. It wasn't long before he left, citing differences with the company, but actually there was a bit of a disagreement backstage and that's the reason that he left. Unfortunately for us, we lost out on Bobby Lashley developing into the character that he is today, but he left and went to TNA and did in fact build his brand, build his identity, and improve immensely. So it's great that we've managed to recapture the star that is Bobby Lashley and he didn't end up going back to New Japan Pro Wrestling, because that would have just been terrible for all of us. We wouldn't have got Bobby Lashley, and it seems like more than likely he will be a popular pre-order bonus possibility. Some people don't like Bobby Lashley, some people don't rate him. I don't mind the guy at all. It seems like a possibility that he could be the pre-order bonus now, and it was something that nobody thought of before, so it seems likely to me that Bobby Lashley is a leading contender to be the pre-order bonus this year. And as Rey Mysterio didn't make any sort of appearance at WrestleMania 34, where we all thought he could have been Braun Strowman's tag team partner, it seems logical that more than likely it would be somebody else rather than him. Ronda Rousey for me is still a possibility to be a pre-order bonus, but as she has had a good showing and has appeared on Raw several times before WrestleMania, it's still possible that she could come on the disc. Entrances are something that are close to my heart as well, and WrestleMania 34 was no exception. We had some fantastic entrances for Nakamura, Charlotte, and obviously Triple H. So These are great entrances as they normally are, but it does leave something open for people. Now obviously we will get some updated entrances for people this year because of WrestleMania, maybe some special entrances that we could possibly see as bonuses. Obviously last year we saw Bobby Roode get his own special entrance in WWE 2K18, but I'd like to see who was going to be getting their own special entrance for WWE 2K19. This could be completely different from what we have at the moment, but there's also a new fresh opportunity here which I thought maybe I'd suggest to you guys, and that could be possibly a special entrance feature. Obviously at the moment we have two entrances, which is the standard entrance and the championship entrance, but why not maybe a big four entrance, which basically allows you to do another entrance option for your superstars, or even for the current superstars at the moment, which basically just gives you another option to come out in a different way. If you want to come out with slightly different music, if you want to come out with more pyros, if you want to come out with a certain attire, you could have a different attire as well, which could be a big four attire. Maybe you want your character to come out looking different and acting different and sounding different, with everything completely different to how they would standard, because it's a big event. Now obviously this sounds like a big ask for WWE 2K19, but I think it would be a good feature. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. But that was my top 10 changes that WrestleMania have done in WWE 2K19. These are the things that will have changed because of the events are through the night, and this is obviously major things, major possibilities, debuts, rating changes, legends that could be in the game. There's so many things that will change and could change for WWE 2K19, but these are the ones that I'm thinking are the main things. So I'm super excited that you guys have joined me for this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like for this video, because obviously we're going to have more WWE 2K19 videos coming out. We're going to get the news and the rumors as soon as they do come out, and hopefully we shouldn't be too long now from getting something. So I'm very excited to bring that to you guys, and I will catch you in the next video.